with staff. So we're very happy that Tammy has been a part of this program, and she's also here with us today. So I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Well, thank you so much. It was a really clear and helpful presentation, and I appreciated you clarifying that 9 of the households continue to over the 2-year period, and that, as you pointed out, when the rents go up, then fewer households can be served. So that's a dynamic we always have to keep in mind. Are there any questions? Does the commission have any questions for RPC?
Just a couple. You mentioned on there it's a 2-year program. That's the maximum. Is that how it runs, or?
It is, we do it as a 1 year. We do it in 1-year increments. So we start out with folks and do a 1-year, it has to be a 1-year lease. And so the subsidy is 1 year. And then as they get close to the end of that 1 year, we reevaluate and see if it'd be impactful and to offer an extension for a 2nd year.
And I'll just note that the 2-year limit is a federal regulation with respect to the home program.
Thank you for clarifying. I couldn't remember if it was 2 or 5.
And so then you said this year you hope to maybe be able to help as many as 25. And when are you going to need to know about subsequent years in order to be able to offer or not offer people an extended year?
We've worked really collaboratively with the city and the consortium related to this. The agreements, and Nick can probably highlight this more eloquently, but the agreements, we usually know how much federal funding we have, and then the home consortium makes decisions about the allocations specific to the different inputs that will be supported with those funds. TBRA for probably at least 6 years has been a standard $150,000. This year there's been an increase just with the vast need to the $300,000 mark. But the timing of those agreements, we have an extended amount of time to administer them. So like the current agreement that we have covers up until 2028. So there's crossover from year to year, and so we can really evaluate households and make those determinations. And again, the partnerships that we have with the city of Urbana allow us to have open communication and talk about the timing and if there's funds to support continued stability for the households. Does that answer that?
Sort of. I mean, when you have people in a program and they're expecting to either be able to renew for a year, so let's say this year you have, if you do 25 families and you had the same carryover from last year of 9, I would assume that you then have 16 new families in there with only a year who might be expecting another year.
We do reevaluations 3 months in advance. And the first, and the very front end, we're very clear that it is a 1-year program with the potential to extend for 2 years.
So that would be 3 years or 3 months, excuse me, in advance of July.
In advance of their lease, so their lease expiration. So the timing is really based on their lease.
So it's not on a fiscal year or a calendar year, it's a lease year.
Correct.
So there's some spread and over.
Absolutely,
Okay.
and that's the joy of that agreement being not tied very firmly to just a 12-month fiscal period. We have a longer period of time to, what's the right word, commit the funds.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I did have a question about the so the limitation for the 2 years is that is that like a per person per lifetime? Like only one person in their lifetime can have 2 years of assistance ever, or can they reapply after 5 or 6 years if anything happens?
We actually track it to make sure that it's per person. We look back and keep records of those that have received the tenant-based rent assistance.
Okay. And then the other thing I wanted to ask, the success of this program? Are you guys following up with these people like 1, 2, 3 years after, to see how well they're doing, if the stabilization is kept? Because as we all know, with a lot of people who kind of struggle in these instances, things can happen along the way that cause various things, and we just want to make sure that we're,
We have not with this program.
Okay.
I mean, we actually, we had an intern, we had a student group that actually, that exact thing, we had hoped to bring some of that data back to council some years back. I just remember that as you're asking the question. We did do some follow-up specifically at that time with the households that had been served. I don't recall the data, but I can pull that out and share that with you. So we don't do it on a regular basis,
Okay.
but we've done sporadic
Yeah.
evaluations in
Yeah.
that manner.
yeah, I would personally be interested in seeing it. I just like to follow up on those types of things. I think they're super cool. And then the only other thing that I just wanted to add was thank you for having the example of Martrellian, being able to listen to people's stories in these instances and how it does help them is very, very helpful. So I wanted to appreciate that. I wish he could have been here today, but it happens. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other questions for Lisa? Well, thank you so much, Lisa, and we look forward to hearing more about program evaluation. And again, I think it's a great opportunity to partner with the university and see getting some future student interns to help you with
Sounds
things
good.
as well. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next item of business is a presentation from Cunningham Township Supervisor's Office on its Emergency Rental Assistance Program, which was recently awarded funding through the CDBG program. Will staff from the Cunningham Township please come and address the commission? Hello, welcome, thank you.
Hey there, I'm Jen Straub. I am the Rental Assistance Program Manager at Cunningham Township. In the 7+ years that I've worked there, I've worn a lot of different hats, but I love rental assistance. It's a program that has a very large impact in a very short amount of time. I really enjoy getting to be part of that. Rental assistance was started early in Supervisor Chenoweth's first term in office when we realized we were getting more calls for housing than we were for the general assistance that we are actually statutorily obligated to provide. So rental assistance then is not statutorily obligation. It's not a statutory obligation for us, but it is a huge need in our community. Before the pandemic, 2/3 of Urbana renters were considered severely rent burdened, which means that more than 50% of their monthly income is being spent on rent, which I know that you can figure out that if more than 50% of many of our neighbors' income is being spent on rent, many of our neighbors are then just 1 or 2 months away from, bad months away from being homeless. And that's sobering. This number's only increased since the pandemic. We have not had a great economic upturn, obviously. So our rental assistance has gone from helping a handful of households before the pandemic every month to about an average of about 40 every month now. Fun facts are, since June of 2023, we've processed 1,645 rental assistance applications in our office. And in fiscal year '24, we spent $221,000 in rent assistance and $90,000 in move-in assistance, helping 266 households. So the key to that has been the levy increase that taxpayers in Urbana voted to give us, which was very nice of them in the middle of a pandemic. And we are very grateful for that. We've never had to turn folks away because we don't have funding for rent assistance. However, the need is always more. The more we provide, the more there is needed. So we've never had a time where we've solved rent burden in Urbana, so we're always looking for more funding. At this point, before we got this grant, we've been offering 1 month of rental assistance, which is a boon for a lot of families and a lot of households in Urbana. The average rent assistance that we're giving out is less than $1,000, which, keeps people in their housing, and that's great for everybody. But there are many cases that could use an extra bump. When you're homeless and you're seeking housing, it's very hard to save money when you're paying to sleep on somebody's couch, or you're trying to get a hotel room every couple of nights to take a shower. Everything is more expensive when you're poor. When you become behind on rent, those late fees stack up. Sometimes 1 month of rent is just not going to stabilize your family. So this has been a real boon. We can pay up to 3 months of rent right now, and that's been very, very helpful. We know that's good for our whole community, providing the stability, keeps families housed, it keeps kids in school, it keeps parents working, and it direct checks to landlords who are business owners in our community, right? So we're all winning because of this, and we're very, very grateful.
Thank you. I do have a question.
Yes.
Lisa mentioned like eligibility criteria for their program, and what are your eligibility criteria?
Yeah, so the eligibility criteria that came in with the grant is a lot, I guess, more liberal than the eligibility that we use for our rental assistance program. For our rental assistance program, your monthly income has to be at 200% of the federal poverty line or less, based on your household size, and we check monthly income by getting pay stubs for 30 days. Additionally, you can't have received rental assistance from Cunningham Township or the Regional Planning Commission or City of Champaign Township within 2 years.
And so I'll just add on to that. Through the CDBG requirement would be that assistance be going to a low to moderate income household, which would actually be capped all the way at 80% of the area median income. So as Jen said, their requirements are actually a bit more stringent on top of that.
Thanks. I couldn't remember the exact number, but I knew it was much higher than our threshold.
Okay, great. Thank you. Does the commission have any more questions for Cunningham Township?
Are there any screening or requirements involved for the locations, landlords? How is that monitored as to?
The location of landlords?
Yeah.
So folks have to reside in the city of Urbana, but as far as like if the landlord can be living in Miami, Florida, is that your question?
No, it wasn't where the landlord is. It's more for the facility, the location,
Yeah.
the condition, the history, anything?
So I do check, if it's an unfamiliar landlord, I do check with the city of Urbana and make sure that they're registered with the rental property registration.
Okay,
So hopefully they're in good
Right.
shape.
okay. That was my question. Thank you.
I kind of want to ask like the same thing I asked last time. Is like is there general like lifetime limitations on this, or is it?
No.
I think you said
And
you had to have 2 years, kind of the
2
same thing.
years,
So
yeah,
you get
you
it once,
know,
you wait 2 years, and
We
okay.
check income because we want this to be the thing that gets people back on track, right?
Yeah.
But when you are very rent burdened and you are living, 200% of the federal poverty line or below, you're gonna fall,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
very precarious place to be financially,
Yeah.
right? So it's not unusual that people have to get rental assistance more than once.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you so much, Jen.
Thank
Appreciate that.
you.
All right, and this brings us to the staff report. Do we have a staff report this evening?
Yep, just a couple updates from the Grants Management Division. First is that our specialist position has been posted and I believe is open through the end of this week. I can't remember the exact date, but it is currently open as of today. This is the position that handles a lot of the day-to-day management of our housing rehabilitation program in particular, and some of the more face-to-face interaction, customer service type aspects of our division. So we've already been getting some applications coming in, so we'll be working to review those and hopefully get a chance to speak with some folks who've been applying. But certainly if you're aware of people in your network who you think might be a good fit, feel free to refer them our way. Next, a note, as you may have heard, the government is currently shut down, and you may have wondered how that is impacting our HUD programs. Certain things are still operating, certain things less so. Significantly, we are still currently able to draw down funds. Those funds have already been allocated by Congress, and the system where we are able to access those funds is still operational. So at the end of the first quarter, after September, we were able to successfully complete a draw despite the government being shut down. That said, many HUD staff are currently furloughed, so some of the technical assistance aspects of HUD administration are less accessible at the moment. So in the meantime, we are just being very careful to cross our T's and dot our I's and do our homework to make sure that we're running as tight of a ship as possible and documenting our reasoning and founding it in federal and local plans and regulations as best as we can until we can get some more of that interaction with our HUD reps again. And then last, just to note that last night at council, City Council voted to approve the appointment of Rachel Harp as a new member to our Community Development Commission. Rachel is a longtime Urbana resident, is currently the Assistant Director of the Children's Daycare Center. I had a chance to speak with her prior to her appointment by council. I think she seems really passionate and knowledgeable about the community's needs and increasing neighborhood stability and working with us to address our community's needs. So certainly look forward to having her. While she was appointed last night, she's still going through some of the onboarding that commission members need to do, which is why she isn't here tonight, but we look forward to having her at a future meeting.
All right, thank you so much for that update. Any questions from the commission?
What does that bring our official membership to? 6?
So we have 5 members now. It would be the 3 members who are present, plus Commissioner Silvis, and then the new member, Rachel Harp.
Yeah.
Yep, so then we will still have 2 vacancies that we are going to continue working to fill.
Thank you.
Okay, any more questions for the staff? All right, is there any unfinished business?
There is not.
Any new business? All right, there's no unfinished new business on the agenda, so this meeting is adjourned at 6:28. Thank you very much.